The Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Management Education is proud to offer this webinar, Competency Assessment for Graduate Healthcare Programs, Perspectives from the Field. It features how 4 CAHME accredited programs excelled in creating approaches for competency assessment. I'm Anthony Stanowski, the President and CEO of CAHME. Since 1968, CAHME has worked to advance the quality of healthcare management education. As of the date of this filming, CAHME accredits 114 programs in healthcare management and certifies 8 programs in healthcare quality and safety. The webinar has a companion white paper. For more details on the topics discussed, additional data tables, and approaches from other programs, go to www.cahme.org/whitepapers. You can download this white paper and other CAHME white papers from the site. This webinar and white paper were underwritten through the generosity and support of Peregrine Global Services. Peregrine Global Services is recognized as a leader in providing online assessment services, online educational services, and higher education support services to institutions of higher education. CAHME is thankful for Peregrine's underwriting support of the white paper and the webinar. However, in our role as an accreditor, CAHME does not endorse, either directly or indirectly, any specific product or service. We choose to focus on competency assessment here because it's one of the most challenging of CAHME's criteria. You can see that it's the #1 criteria that receives partially not met or not met in accreditation site visits at 83% of all programs reviewed. Look, the CAHME board believes that measuring the competency of graduates is important because graduates from CAHME accredited programs are entering an environment that is increasingly complex and requires a broad set of skills. While 42% of graduates from CAHME accredited programs go into hospital or health systems, and another 15% enter postgraduate fellowships, graduates are going into different areas of healthcare, like consulting, insurance, physician practice management, the military, pharma, government, and long-term care. Regardless of where they go, students from CAHME accredited programs need a range of competencies to succeed. So the basics. What is competency assessment? Competency assessment is the practice of defining the skills students need to develop over the course of study that they're in, then thoughtfully tracking students' development of those skills. High quality assessment involves, and this is important, #1, the tools to track and generate data, and #2, and importantly, the process to improve. 4 speakers will review how their programs approach competency assessment. You'll hear different approaches. Remember, CAHME does not mandate a specific approach, but our site visit teams need to see how programs assess and track competencies and create a process to improve. The speakers are Cherise Bridgwater, the Director for Accreditation Operations at the Robbins Institute for Health Policy and Leadership at Baylor University. You'll hear about their homegrown competency model they call the SICM. Mark Bittle is the MHA Program Director at Johns Hopkins University. You'll hear how their program uses inbound and outbound assessment tools. Donita Brown, the Director of Healthcare Programs at Lipscomb University, will talk about how different competencies require different levels of expertise. Rob Haley, the Program Director from the University of North Florida, will describe how UNF uses the Assessment Center on Canvas as the backbone of their competency assessment. Ending the session will be Peregrine's Global Services President and CEO, Olin Odakoven, who will provide a perspective on competency assessment and show some ways that Peregrine's global services assess competencies. As a prelude to our speakers, Eric Brichto, CAHME's Vice President of Accreditation Operations and Counsel, will level set and provide an overview of the criteria for competency assessment.
Hi, I'm Cherise Bridgwater, the Director of Accreditation and Operations for Baylor University's Robbins MBA Healthcare Program. Today, I am so excited to talk to you about our competency feedback sessions, bridging the gap from passivity to engagement. Benjamin Franklin once exclaimed, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn." Here in the Robbins MBA Healthcare Program, we enthusiastically involve students in our competency assessment process with the aim of providing a reliable source of motivated, committed, and highly trained executive leaders for service to the healthcare industry. The program, which is situated within Baylor's Hankamer School of Business, is a 21-month, 58-hour program designed for those seeking early career leadership positions within the healthcare industry. Our competency model consists of 6 domains, 24 competencies, and 87 subcompetencies. Our assessment process, the SICM, includes regular oral and written feedback with the results summarized in a dashboard. Each student receives a dashboard and can thereby understand his or her progression. In our program, we use the following competency assessment touchpoints: self-assessments, course didactic reviews, professional development and leadership evaluations, external preceptor review, and comprehensive final oral exam. Although the competency assessment touchpoints are imperative, the main key for success is our student feedback sessions throughout the program's duration and concluded with the comprehensive final oral exam. It is during these regular feedback sessions whereby the students are involved and attuned to their progression. We coach them to ask the questions: where have I succeeded? What areas may I need to further develop? What should I improve following graduation? And by the time the concluding feedback is provided via the final oral examination panel, a panel consisting of chief executives, clinical professionals, alumni, and academics, the students have truly been involved and they have learned.
Hello, my name is Mark Bittle, Senior Scientist in the Department of Health Policy and Management and Director of the Master of Health Administration program at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Measuring competency attainment is challenging, and our approach to defining and assessing competencies continues to evolve. Our competency model has 5 domains divided into 2 categories: knowledge-based, what you need to know, and practice-based, desired behaviors. To assess the knowledge-based competencies, we've implemented a standardized inbound-outbound assessment. Practice-based competencies are assessed using a combination of qualitative tools, including student self-assessment with advisor review and preceptor-facilitated competency assessment. The preceptor-facilitated competency assessment is what I would like to highlight here. In year 2 of the Hopkins MHA program, students begin their 11-month administrative residency, which are full-time professional assignments primarily in the healthcare delivery and consulting sectors. Each student has an assigned residency preceptor, a senior leader in each of our partner residency sites, who serves as both mentor and educator. Preceptors hold a faculty appointment. A recently developed competency assessment rubric is used to document competencies achieved based on actual work projects and achievement of outcomes. Based on their respective work assignments, each student and their preceptor identify competencies to be gained or developed through work on a given project. Through regular preceptor review meetings while the project is ongoing, and at the conclusion of each identified project, the student's competency attainment is discussed, evaluated, and documented. An overall assessment of student competency attainment at the end of the student's 11-month residency is also documented on the same form. The preceptor sends the completed rubric to the student's faculty advisor for review and subsequent inclusion in the student's academic portfolio contained in our learning management system. Tracking both knowledge-based and practice-based competencies requires, in our view, different approaches using both quantitative and qualitative methods. Thank you, and be well.
Hi, I'm Donita Brown, Director of the Healthcare Graduate Programs in Lipscomb University. Lipscomb University is located in Nashville, Tennessee, and Nashville is fortunate to call home to 500 healthcare companies. It was with these healthcare professionals that Lipscomb used to develop our competency model. Our executive advisory board was selected from Nashville's healthcare companies, and those members of the executive advisory board came together to develop the competency model we use today. We selected 20 executives and met with the goal of designing the fundamental competencies for our programs. After initial in-person meeting with the executive advisory board, the faculty created surveys to refine the competencies. The Delphi method was used to gather and to reshape the consensus on the competencies. The final outcome were 32 competencies into 5 domains. The domains are 1. Strategy and execution, 2. Leadership, 3. Driving transformational change, 4. Character quality and traits, and 5. Healthcare knowledge. The competencies were ranked by expertise level needed by the students. The skill levels are as follows: basic skills, which is an encompassing knowledge or comprehension of the subject matter with an understanding of the principles. Second, intermediate skills, the ability to incorporate the application of knowledge to analyze a problem. And then finally, advanced skills, the ability to operationalize issues, synthesize information, discover and collaborate in problem solving, and being able to lead and persuade in execution. Thank you for listening to how Lipscomb arrived at our competency model.
Hi, I'm Rob Haley, Professor and Director of the University of North Florida's Master of Health Administration program. I am so excited to talk about our electronic competency assessment capability called the MHA Competency and Advising Assessment Center. Now, while the capability is innovative, I must admit that our title for it certainly is not. But what makes this capability innovative is that it was developed using our university's existing learning management platform known as Canvas. Our tool measures and reports each student's progress toward the mastery of our program's 23 competencies at the course level. This allows students to have a clearer understanding of their current performance and what we need to do to improve their mastery for each competency. Professors address the competencies they want students to obtain in their course's first day lecture using our rubrics. So really, our faculty explains the why behind these competencies. At the end of the semester, our professors record their assessments for each student, and students then have 24/7 online access to their performance results. Now, the Canvas platform does have some limitations. For instance, students will never earn a 100% score on any one competency, since most individual courses do not cover all of our 23 competencies. I must admit, this causes some stress for our high-performing students as the percentage scores appear low. However, it does encourage students to become more active with advising and the understanding of their progress. So in conclusion, our competency and advising tool has provided a lot of good to our students as they work towards reaching their highest potential. And that is something our faculty is really, really proud of.
What I get excited about is how programs can use assessment data to see how their students are developing. Here is an example of student assessment results from a graduate healthcare administration program. The graph shows the program's inbound, an exam at the start of the academic program, and outbound, an exam at the end of the academic program, assessment results. The school's results are also compared to the outbound exam results from other healthcare administration programs. Several knowledge areas of the healthcare discipline were selected for evaluation. Such information is used to benchmark the program and to identify potential knowledge gaps. Here is an example of data from the learner's EvaluSkills Workplace Skills Assessment. EvaluSkills is a 360-degree assessment service that measures soft skills. The participant report summarizes the perspectives of both pre-program evaluators and post-program evaluators. The online evaluation is conducted using a 5-point Likert type scale for each evaluation item. To maximize objectivity of the evaluation, the rubrics include statements regarding the definition, scaling, and behaviors for each level of proficiency. The standardized rubrics assist the evaluators with making their selection and provide consistency and objectivity across all evaluators. In this second EvaluSkills example, the group report summarizes the 360-degree assessment results of 35 graduating healthcare students. Each adult learner selected at least 5 evaluators from the learner's workplace, plus 1 faculty member. The evaluators assessed the learner using an instrument that was created based on the specific learning outcomes for the academic program. In summary, competency-based assessment is outcomes-based. A competency-based assessment approach is designed based on the outcomes of the courses, programs, and academic institution. It is also employer-centric. The strategic goal of the academic program is to produce employment-ready graduates who can advance in their professional journey. And it is data-driven. Competency-based assessment must use relevant data so that program managers can make sound, informed decisions about achieving academic excellence.
Thank you for watching CAHME's webinar on competency assessment. For more information or to see other learning opportunities CAHME has to offer, please visit www.cahme.org/LMS. Thank you.